Well, it's the dream, isn't it? That's, I wrote in my yearbook in year 11, I want to be a professional golfer, and I got the ticket. Someone asked me this yesterday, like, how did you get into commentating? I was like, being a failed tour pro. I want to tick off more of what you guys are doing. Try and play more of those courses.
And it was how you know what club the players are playing. So would you tell us how you know what clubs the players are playing?
It's a secret.
Bonus episode, a chat with Sophie Walker. So she's a current Sky Sports golf presenter, former LET pro, playing in over 150 events. She's finished runner-up at the 2010 Scottish Open. She's played in 5 Opens, including the first women's visit to St Andrews, led the US Open at Shoal Creek, and has a degree in sports science and business management from Loughborough University. She's also ace, and she's chatting with us today. It is Sophie Walker. Now, before we start our episode, I'm going to ask anybody watching or listening to this episode, please give us a follow or a subscribe. It helps us get amazing guests like Sophie. Welcome, Sophie.
Welcome. Well, it does help when you live only a mile down the road
Yeah,
as well.
I didn't want to say that. Let's gloss over that. What an intro that is. That's amazing.
I know I sounded really good, didn't I? I was thinking,
brilliant.
I'm not sure I've used my degree at Loughborough University, but I met some great friends and put on a couple of kilo and drank too much. Standard university.
So
Sounds like a solid outing, to be
Good
honest.
university education there, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about when you started playing golf. Was it did you get the bug straight away? Was it a bit of a slow burn? How did that work out for you?
I started from a really young age, but not joining a golf club. The local pro cut down a John Letters 7-iron, I think it was, because my dad was the handicap secretary at Cleethorpes Golf Club, played off single figures, was quite involved with the club, and he transitioned from playing football to cricket and then joined the golf club. So I would go down with him of a weekend and kind of get thrown in the pro shop, and poor Eric Sharp, who was my coach for 20 years, he would just look after me. So I would draw paintings. I would terrorize him playing hide and seek in the shop from the age of maybe 4 to 10 when I could join the golf club, because back then you couldn't join a golf club till you were 10.
Is just general across the board?
Yeah, well, our club, and it
Right.
wasn't a posh club
Yeah.
at all. And I would go out and sneak out on the golf course with my dad with his club, because we lived on the back of it as such. You could walk to the furthest holes, the 6th hole, so we'd walk out on there, and I would hit the odd shot at night. And being from the seaside, we had a pitch and putt, which was quite popular. So I'd go down there with my best mate. His grandma would take us, and we would play pitch and putt. But I didn't really start golf until I was age 10. And the first year, no, I didn't particularly take to it.
Right.
I was playing with the women, not the juniors, and that they felt really old to me, and I didn't quite understand where I fitted in the club. And then I realised there was a massive junior section, and it was okay to play with the boys. There was over 100 of us. And from then on, I kind of lived at the golf club. So from age 11, I had the bug.
And was that? Do you think that has that passion always kind of been within you, kind of to play golf, so that you kind of been out there as a real young kid just hitting balls? Were you kind of hooked at that point, do you think, or was it a bit later on that you actually thought, you know what, I love golf?
I wanted to be a sports person. Okay. I think if I probably had my time now, I would have been a footballer. Okay. I was a good footballer as a kid, and still, if I go home back to Cleethorpes, I'll get some dads coming up to me going, "You were great at football," and I think, "Oh no, I was good at golf." And they said, "Oh yeah, you used to play with my lad Jono and Ashley," and I absolutely loved football, but we got cut off at 13, and luckily for me, I was good at sport, and golf took over from football. The same boys that I was playing football with were playing golf at the same time. So it meant that I kept my friendship group, and I just transferred playing football with them onto the golf course in that way. I am fortunate. I'm good at bat and ball skills. So golf, I can't really remember learning golf. And I think when I teach golf, I have to remind myself that there's so many things I do that I don't even know I'm doing, because it's just almost been through osmosis from watching my dad, watching my coach Eric Sharp, going out for hours and hours and hours, chipping and putting. it's really like you don't have to think about it because we did it that much as kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just lived at the golf course. I rode my bike to the course, had my clubs in the locker. It was about £100 to be a member for the year, and probably got a fiver off mum and dad and bought some chips.
Oh,
and
you
played. We played 54 holes a day really in the summer because our golf course was flat.
Yeah.
And juniors were encouraged. You know, the juniors could play for the teams, not just the junior teams.
Yeah. Well, at what point did that turn from, you know, I'm just almost playing subconsciously to actually, I think I could make a career out of this?
Yeah, I had an amazing 2000, I think it was, where I pretty much won everything I entered other than the British girls. So I won the English girls at 15 around Sheringham Golf Club. And that was really where I thought, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I could be
This is
good
the thing.
at this. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, it gets competitive juices flowing as well, that, doesn't it? It's like, actually, I'm good at it. Right, okay. So
yeah, I must admit, it's the competition is a big bonus, or was a big bonus for me.
Right, I had pretty much the opposite experience. I came pretty much dead last in the under-16s boys at Sheringham as well.
Okay.
So that's why you're sat here as the pro and I'm sat here as an absolute hacker.
So you had around about 13 years on tour. I mean, that's something that listeners, viewers, people who follow golf generally and socially and casually, they just dream of that, don't they? Like, what is it like being on the women's tour, life as a tour pro? Like, paint the picture for us.
It's the dream, isn't it? That's, you know, I wrote in my yearbook in year 11, you know, I want to be a professional golfer, and I got the ticket. Pack a bag and see you later. Kind of 6 weeks in a row, 9 weeks down in Australia, just bouncing from country to country. That was cool. I was fortunate that my best friend Nikki was Australian, so once she came to Europe, she couldn't go home. So she would either come back to our house, or she would say to me, hey, look, we're playing in Amsterdam. Can we go a day early? And then we're moving on to Prague. Instead of going home, can we go to Prague? So I find myself on kind of a tour of Europe because the Australian is keen to do it. And I think that was great for me in terms of experience. Yeah. And we just bounced around. The tour was a bit more stable in the sense that it was South Africa and Australia first. Then it went into Europe from April through to September, October. Yeah. And it was very European based, which suited us. You'd turn up on a Monday. If you were a rookie, you probably needed your practice round on the Monday and Tuesday because you weren't in the pro-am on the Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you were playing, and you pack up your stuff, put your tour bag on. There was a big van, so you paid Eric, €40, the bag man, and he put the bag on the van, and he took your luggage. So you could travel to the next destination kind of just with a suitcase. And if you wanted to have a couple of days off, you could go see the sights and then tee it up again.
What a life.
What was that transition like? So obviously you've done really well in the amateur game. What was that transition like to then going to be a kind of tour pro?
It was reasonably I led my first event on tour.
Okay.
I was like, this is all right, Tenerife. But I had a really poor final round. I look back on it, I think I shot 79, 80 in the last round, being a final group. Okay. So that was a bit of a baptism of fire for me. First year, kept my card quite comfortably. The one thing that I think I should have done better was back myself more. Like trying to get sponsorship was really quite difficult then. Yeah. It wasn't on TV as much. Mm-hmm. You know, you just had to hand your CV in. There was no social media. You couldn't promote yourself that well. Living in Lincolnshire, wasn't in a hub of people that could sponsor you. Got really fortunate that I had Eastern Airways sponsor me to start with, but I felt like I should have maybe invested more of the money that I did have to get a really good caddy, to bring my coach out more on tour, because Eric didn't want to come on tour. He'd done all that. Yeah. He was a really successful coach in the 80s and 90s, and he didn't want to come out to Europe and fly around. I should have maybe just invested in more stuff, back myself, so I didn't feel like I was turning up to a golf event just me. Yeah. And if you look at it now, they all have little groups around them. Yeah. My golf game, I was ready to play tour golf, but I probably didn't put the structure around me.
And is that something that kind of came later, or did you kind of got used to doing it solo? And then
I got used to doing it solo, and I think that was probably an error, really, to take me to, you spoke about 13 years on tour, playing in majors, but, I didn't win on tour. I didn't get over to the LPGA. And that was maybe a financial restriction that I put on myself as well.
Yeah. What do those financial restrictions look like? Kind of.
It's just backing yourself. So you're probably talking about spending back then $2,500 a week.
Okay.
It's more than that now.
Yeah.
But that would get you the decent hotel, the good caddy, the physio, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Just what you'd expect a top athlete to be like.
So in peak condition.
I kind of felt like I still did. I thought I did all right as an amateur, not having all of this. I'll be fine. But I think I did have it as an amateur because I was with England Golf.
Yeah.
I just didn't realise. And I think that's a big jump from going from an amateur and turning up and they're looking after everything. Basically, they give you your passport, it's like, and you get on that flight, off you go, and we're going to look after everything. Here's your team uniform, blah, 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 to nothing.
Yeah.
And
so what age would you have been then when you made that?
I was late. I'd finished uni, so I was 21.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they do it a lot younger now, but that's why you see the Swiss golf are very good at it. Australian golf are good at it, where they have whatever you do as an amateur, it progresses into being on tour. So that team almost stays the same.
Like that transition across.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not just cut adrift, like
no.
So you've done with the amateur now, like you just sort yourself out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I suspect it's like in football, like now, because clubs will do this whole kind of, they want to educate the players as much as possible and get them ready for life after football. This is kind of, life into the because that's where when you're trying to move people, you do need to organise this sort of stuff, and so even just organisational skills are quite important. Aren't they?
Is, yeah. You're very accountable to yourself as a golfer. Like when you get up, when you practice, how hard you practice, when you go into the gym. Yeah, there's a lot to manage.
I mean, you're basically just running a little mini business, which is you, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously you then got into broadcasting. So how did that shift for you?
Someone asked me this yesterday. How did you get into commentating? And I was like, being a failed tour pro. I actually had to write this down because I had to look at it. So 2014, I'd been on tour 7 or 8 years, and I'm a bit of a realist and thought, I'm not getting enough out of this. I'm putting, I feel like I'm putting the work in, but I'm not getting enough out of it. So I started to apply for jobs. And I applied for a job at England Golf, and someone who works at the LET helped me with it, Polly, who's now smashing it. She's like head of Solheim Cup for the LET. And I said, I'm going to apply for this job. And it was like, I don't know, 18 to 20 grand a year at England Golf. And she put the CV together. She's like, are you sure about this? I was like, I need to start progressing, do something else, maybe, at least look around. We sent it in, and I think I definitely came top 10. I think it was the year that Charlie won. And I probably won like 10 grand. She's like, you've just won half your salary. Anyway, I didn't even get a reply. Didn't even get an interview. Okay. Okay. Well, all right, I'm top 10, so maybe I should go back and start playing a bit more. So I'd already started thinking in 2014. Then 2015 comes along, and a guy that I live with at university, he works for Your Golf Travel, Oliver. And he said, look, Soph, we're starting doing this YouTube stuff. We're doing Turnberry, 1 night accommodation, 2 rounds of golf at both courses. It's a winter deal. I still remember it now. It was 189 quid. Yeah. So I'm going on.
Travel up there for 189 quid now.
This is only 2015. Yeah. Like, how expensive is golf now? Yeah. And so he said, we're going to try and promote this. We've got these guys on YouTube, Coach Lockie, Mark Crossfield, Rory, who was a YouTuber. And what about you? I know the Women's Open is up at Turnberry. You could go do this. You get a couple of practice rounds. So I thought, let's give that a go. Quite enjoyed it. And then we started to do more and more and more.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head, crikey, Your Golf Travel, maybe I'm going to get some sponsorship out of this. That's why I think we turn up at Turnberry, and I got in. So I'd qualified and got into it. And I remember speaking to Ollie, and he would be fine with it now. And he said, Soph, got some exciting news. I was like, great.
This is it.
Tuesday, the Open. He goes, just look at Charlie Hull's arm sleeve when you see her. And they sponsored Charlie Hull. And I was like, oh, God, I have traipsed around doing YouTube like this. And obviously, I mean, it's probably better sponsoring Charlie than it was me looking at it now. But I was like, oh. But then I was getting better at YouTube. People were liking what I was doing. The golf world was quite negative about it at the time. It was Paige Sporanic era. That was kind of cool. But I started to see a vision of, this could be where some more golf's going. Kept doing that, met Rick Shields, met Pete Finch, all that type of stuff. But in my head, I still thought, well, I'm not watching a lot of this YouTube. I'm still watching television. So maybe I could transfer this into television. And I got my first Sky Sports gig because me, myself, Amy Bolden and Carly Booth were doing an American golf show. It was at the Excel down in London, and it was at Manchester, at Trafford. And they wanted somebody to promote it. So I said, well, as I got us the gig, girls, I'm going to do the promotion. So I went on to Sky, sat in the studio and chatted a bit there.
Cool.
And that's kind of how it started.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Just happened. Yeah, I watched loads of golf, so it wasn't a struggle at all.
Yeah.
I did get far too dolled up. You should have seen me in makeup. So you sit in makeup and they're like, you come out with all these lights, and now I'm like a little bit more natural.
Oh, you're right.
The Dolly Parton days.
Can I get a little bit more natural?
Do you sort of just go? That's my look now. That's what I have.
Stick to that.
Yeah, you can't do that. I love that. But it's great confidence though to just kind of take to it naturally. And
yeah, I think I probably had more confidence at the time in that than I did in my golf game. And so when I was on YouTube, I was playing really well. Like the camera didn't bother me.
Right.
And I thought, oh, this camera's not bothering me. And then when I went into the Sky Sports studio, I was like, well, I watch this all the time. I know what we do. I know we stand up there next to the screen. Yeah. I know they're going to ask me to demonstrate something. Yeah. So I got more confident in that than being by myself on a course. And looking back, maybe it was part of a team. I like being part of a team.
Yeah. I guess in some ways there's a bit less pressure on you because as an individual, isn't there, in those situations? Yeah, you can, like you say, you've got a group of people around you to kind of to bounce off.
Yeah.
So we'll turn it back to top 100 just for a second.
Okay.
So far, out of these amazing courses that we've got on our fair island, like, what's your absolute top favourite golf course? Which is the one that you're like, oh, I could be just take me there now?
Yeah, I top of my list is
it's Reddish Vale, isn't it?
I always kind of flirt between Sunningdale and Royal County Down. They're the two that I just yeah.
It's just flip of a coin, is it?
Yeah, like when the weather's good, it's Royal County Down.
Which is never.
Yeah.
So have you played both those in tournament play? Or,
So when you're an amateur, you get to play some great golf courses. And we had the British Am, or as the RNA will now call it, the Women's Amateur, at Royal County Down. And me and Mel Reid, with our families, we rented a cottage up in the hills, and we played a British Amateur there. And those days were so much fun. Great fun. I think I lost in the quarterfinals. So that would mean I'd have probably played it 6 or 7 times. And since then, I've not played it. But the memory just lives with me of hitting the golf ball kind of into the greenery, but then looking to the left and seeing like all the sea and everything. You don't often get an amazing golf course with good stuff to look at. It's kind of one or the other.
Amazing.
And, Ireland is great. And then Sunningdale, I played Sunningdale foursomes loads as a kid. Semi-finals of that I got with Ollie Fisher one year.
Cool. When you're playing a course like that, you know, obviously now you do the two things, or you have done the two things. You played it as a tour pro, and you then also played the course as just somebody for the love of the game and just fun, right? How is that different? Is it different?
Yeah, I mean, when you play it and it means something, your head's down.
Right.
Totally down.
Yeah, not taking anything in.
I went and played in a golf day for FootJoy, the new clothing that they were doing up at Gullen. And I stood on the 7th tee and was like, this is beautiful, isn't it? It's nice. Yeah. I'd played a British Amateur there, semi-final. A day had got postponed. I'd spent 7 days up at Gullen on that 7th tee. Obviously, it's match play, so I would have played it 6 or 7 times easy. Yeah. Never noticed it. Never noticed it in the
totally
slightest.
Focused,
just head down. Wouldn't have even looked up.
It's a bit sad, that, isn't it, actually? That, I mean, it isn't because it's your job and that's what you're trying to do and you're focused, and that's great because that is your focus. But then, you might play somewhere in the world, you might never go back there, but it's a stunning golf course. And it's like, actually, I've not had any chance or ability to take that in.
And that's a bit like when you're on tour and travelling. So, look, I did say I did well with looking at some places, but also when you wasn't playing well, I would not go on that river cruise. I would say no to stuff and miss out on places. And now you look at that and you think, oh, I might have to go back to New York to see New York. Luckily, when I went to India, I went to the Taj Mahal, but I went to India like 10 times. I went to the Taj Mahal once. Yeah. So you think, oh, maybe you make more of an effort. And that would be what I do say to some players now. Like, if you do have an afternoon, get off Netflix, get out your own head and just go and see a place. Yeah. And that will fill your cup up a little bit. You don't have to be active. Yeah. Just try and see it.
You think that's... sorry, go on.
I was going to say, how do you reflect on that time on tour? Because obviously it's quite a hard, tough grind, right? Yeah. Isn't it? You're out there and you're playing for your wage, your wage packet, aren't you? Like you say there, you kind of missed out on some experiences. But how do you reflect on that in total, that kind of time on tour?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, I had some amazing experiences as well. But like, talking about like taking it in, my first AIG Women's Open was at the old course at St Andrews. Nice. That was the first time the women had ever been there, right? But I'd just come out of amateur golf and I'd played the St Rule and we'd play it all the time. I'll play the old course 5-6 times a year as an amateur. Yeah. Then I turn up here and it's just like, well, it was only, I played this like, 8-9 months ago. Yeah. And looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness, like how amazing was this? Like, I do have photos, thankfully, of me on the bridge and stuff like that. But now when I tell people, I was like, wow, what a privilege that was to be in that tournament. Yeah. Oh, RNA championship. So I think you have to look back at it really to appreciate the fantastic things that you ended up doing.
I suppose it's that almost arrogance of youth, isn't it? You're just like, no, I'm focused on my job. I'll just do whatever you don't. And what great advice to somebody to go, look, take the day trip or take the morning and just go and soak up the culture. And I mean, as you coach now as well. So if somebody was an aspiring tour player or anything like that, I mean, do you think that's beneficial just for their kind of mental well-being as well, that it's time away from the game, it's doing something fun that you're enjoying, which hopefully then takes the laser, like for 7 days, all I'm thinking about is golf and that's it. That must be mentally exhausting. Yeah. Forget the physical exertion of it. I remember last
year when Lottie turned professional, Lottie Woad plays a lot of golf. I mean, she'd play every day. She's a bit like Charlie in that sense, that's what she really likes. And we said to her, you don't have to play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because then you've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 7 days. And it's a bit like that interview with Tiger where you go, you'll learn. And then we saw her earlier this year in the Asian events, and she was doing a 9-hole pro-am, and she'd played 9 holes on the Tuesday, and she said, I played with Megan Kang, and she was advising me not to play as much practice rounds. And you're like, yeah. Because sometimes I think I might have been burnt out before I even started. Yeah. Because, I'd turn up at a golf course in France that I might have played the year before. Laura Davis had won there 4 times and probably played it 40 times. So I'm thinking, I need to learn this and I need to do this. When really that there should have been, if I'd have had a good caddy, I could have relied on the good caddy, just step back and be like, okay, it's only golf. Like the Irish books are great. Yeah. We can play this. It's better to take, if you're doing 6 weeks in a row, which they don't even do that now, like 3 weeks is almost the maximum, isn't it, for tour players?
Right, okay.
You don't need to overplay. You need to be ready on Thursday and you need to be peaking on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not the other way.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it? I wonder if there's more. Is there more awareness of that now as well?
I think
people
so.
like whoop
with
bands
the whoop
and stuff like that.
and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, you're more than aware of
so
it.
I've gone down with all the lingo of the whoop bands.
Yeah, I've got Erling Haaland. Did you see him the other day? He had it on, so it's got exactly the same.
Is that what he
one
does?
as
Puts it up here, does
Erling.
it? I didn't know you could do that. Is it on the courses and these top courses? Is there a course that's like your hidden gem, underrated? People don't talk about it enough. Golf course.
It has to be in this country, right? Yeah.
Give us both. Go on then.
Okay.
I forget that you've got the privilege of having played over the world, but if you've got one that you like,
tell me. But what I played Ganton the other day. What ranking's that? Is that in the top 50?
It's in the top 50. Yeah, it's like
so
mid.
it's not really a
20s,
hidden. I thought that was in really. Not a big fan of the last, but I don't think many people would be because it's got the drive that come through it. But I enjoyed that, and I imagine it's a course that you could play year round and get it for a slightly cheaper fee in the winter or autumn, and it still be.
I need to go back because I need to revisit those first 7 holes.
Yeah, so we played Ganton. So Ganton was one of my favourites that we've done.
Yeah.
The night before we played Ganton, Nish went out till about 3 a.m. and got locked out of his house.
Okay.
So like 9
and then
o'clock.
drove 2 hours.
That lovely lady you met before was my
driving.
wife.
Yeah.
Left the key in the back of the door.
Oh, she was out with you?
No, she was in. So
she left that key in the back of the door for a reason.
I was like, ringing.
Absolutely.
Luckily, it was a gorgeous day, so I just slept on the decking, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and like this. But my phone rings. Obviously, I'm just glued to it, and I was like, "Where are you?" And she's like, "I'm upstairs." And I went, "I'm on the decking trying to get some sleep." She was like, "Oh no!" I was like, and I could see because from here I could see right through. I could see the key in the back. I was like, "We'll talk later." I was like, "I need to get ready for golf." Like,
Formby Ladies is a good day out.
Okay. I've not done that yet, have we?
Because that's just a short course, but it's built to be short. They've not just put tees forward.
Yeah.
So it's nice and positioning. That's good. I do like Heathland as well as Links.
Yeah.
Well, Kindred Spirits are like a Heathland course. That's my favourite. Although one might have just jumped into number 1, so I don't know. Okay. Now, top 100-y kind of related stuff.
Right.
We're gonna later, so we'll give everyone a little bit of a preview. We're gonna give you the courses, the top 10 courses that are above what we've played, but then you've played as well, and you're gonna give us a little rundown and a review. But before we sort of get to them, we've touched a little bit upon what it was like playing as a tour pro and things like that. At elite courses, and obviously that's what this podcast is about. You know, how has the game evolved? Because the women's game is growing so much, and now I went to Conway, and then they had the girls' amateur championship there, and they were really proud of that. I mean, it was almost front and centre. The Walker Cup had started to disappear as something that they'd hosted. It was all the girls' amateur we've done, and Matthew's the manager there said, we were so proud to get that tournament. How do you think that's been changing now in the world of golf?
Yeah, I think the R&A venues are excellent. They always have been. When I was talk about the best courses I've played, the chances are it was an amateur. So that they've been great, and now it's nice to see that progress to the AIG Women's Open, with going to Royal Lytham this year. Porthcawl last year was great. I went on down the driving range, would have been in Asia towards the end of the year, so we're talking October, on the LPGA, and I did a thing, what was your best course of the year? And 90% of them said Royal Porthcawl.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. And they were all asking before they went. So Nelly, I wouldn't say, Jason asked. Jason, Nelly's caddy, talks a lot. yeah. And he's married to one of my friends, so he did a lot of the talking, and she was just stood there kind of hitting balls and asking the odd question. But I remember saying, like, no, you're going to really like this. And then Lydia Coe had never been to Wales, so she's like, I have no idea what to expect. So for all those players to go to a different country and then be like, I mean, the drive into Porthcawl is beautiful. You could be in Australia. It's so nice. That's like a couple of K down the coast, and it's not a private road, but it feels that way. And the people are swimming, surfing. It's amazing. And then you turn into Porthcawl, and it's a great setup. So there'd be that. Yeah, I just think people are getting it, aren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
50% of the world are women. Like,
It's mad that that's...
yeah.
Like,
And golf's getting it. Yesterday I played Hillside and I was speaking to the woman I was playing with, and she said, we played against West Lancs in a scratch match the other day, and their highest handicapper for a woman was 0.6. You know, that's some real good... And that's the I don't know if you want to call them the elite clubs, the best clubs in that top 100 tend to have the best players, the best male players and the best female players. And I've always found if I walk into a golf club, you know, gender, race, sexuality, disability, they all come below ability. So if I'm good at golf, they're going to speak to me. You know, like that's just the way it is. And a lot of these older courses, you're on the first tee is literally next to the clubhouse, isn't it? And then you get that look of, oh, she's going off the yellows. Oh, she's going off the whites. That type of fear. And then you hit it, and okay. And then after that, it's just a very welcoming. But I've said this. I've been very fortunate that I haven't had a lot of what people talk about. You know, I haven't. The men on the men's tour, they saw us when I was, or they see them now as equals, because they're doing the same amount of practice, they're going to the gym the same amount of times, etc. So that's not the issue in it. It's maybe the decision makers need to just start looking around a bit, and just negative comments, they just don't help, do they? You know,
no.
Just try and be.
Has there ever been any disparity in like facilities or anything like that ever, or has that changed? It's all.
I mean, sometimes there was an event in Morocco, which is why I say the men always backed us. So there was an event in Morocco where the men played on one course, we played on the other. They had the better course. But our course was still excellent. Like, so that wasn't a big problem. We shared the same where we at. So that was nice. So you got to sit with them. So you come in from your round of golf and you're sitting with like lads that used to play county golf with. It was lovely.
Yeah.
And then you'd go, the driving range setup was interesting because the first year we were there, we were on a fairway of another course. So it wasn't brilliant. And they had a nice range.
Yeah.
There was a putting green by the clubhouse, which was the men's putting green. And we had the women's putting green. So I was like, okay, well, that one's a bit bigger than ours. That's a bit of a shame. And then what happened was Robert Rock, who was playing, was coaching. It was right at the time where Rocky was starting. Rocky started coaching women really successfully before he went onto the men's side of it. So he would be playing, and then he would come over and teach a couple of the female tour pros, and went on the range. So we suddenly had this new range built, but it was further away. But it was this academy, and it was unreal. Suddenly, the women's range was better than the guys, but it was a bit out of the way. So none of the guys knew it was there.
Right.
So Rocky comes down, gives a lesson, and he goes back and he's like, "You should see this range." So we were like, "Well, hang on a minute, we're not allowed on yours."
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the next thing you know, the guys start coming down to our range, and because it's got a great pitching area, and there's baskets of balls, and they get handed Pro V1s. And we get range balls.
Oh, no.
Like this. And so Rocky's like, I'm giving a woman a lesson. So he picks them up and he gets the Pro Vs. So you go and pick the Pro. And it's only because the person working on the range has been told this. You know, it's not. He's like, you can't have them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. So just stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the male tour pros are like,
what is this?
Because I'm just going to go get them for you. Like, this is an absolute joke. But just stuff like that. It's like, you just didn't see that, did you? You didn't.
Yeah, it's not a consideration.
It's just not been considered. I think that's more of it.
Yeah.
The guys got courtesy cars.
Right.
We got minibuses. Absolutely fine on a minibus.
Yeah.
If they haven't got courtesy cars.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
same for
but all on a minibus are okay.
Yeah. But then if I
go
go in the car, if I turn up at the hotel or whatever, and I stood next to a tour pro, a male tour pro, he could be like, Sophie, do you want to jump in my car? And that's okay. Yeah. I just can't get.
Do you think that's changing with kind of like social media and stuff? And I guess female golf was becoming more kind of celebrity kind of levels of of status. Is that changing how things are operating on tour?
It is. I mean the prize purses are going through the roof, and look, if I was a player, that's all I would care about.
Yeah.
You know, Chevron Major Championship, first one of the year, they put another $1 million on top of the purse.
Yeah.
But now I'm not playing, obviously, so I'm not as selfish, because we are selfish as pros. And I'm seeing the bigger picture behind. I would put that $1 million into the infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know, get more people watching, pay more for television. I'm going to be turning on Nelly Corder. She's going to be 4 holes in. I don't want that. I want it from the first.
Yeah.
Put more money into TV. Get more people watching it, then the prize funds will go up as well.
Yeah, because the sponsors
it just
come flocking
feels a
in,
little
don't
bit
they?
at the minute that they're just whacking it all into the prize fund for the players, for the impact. Like the last 2 weeks on the LPGA Tour, $1 million have just been whacked into the prize fund. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to be turning up on television being like, oh, sorry, we don't start our coverage till 12 o'clock. Because we can't afford it earlier. Or, sorry, we've only got 3 hours of coverage, and obviously a round of golf takes 4.5, so you're missing that. Or the players saying, oh, why don't we get shot tracer? Well, we can't. So,
Are the people there kind of trying to bridge those gaps? Are the people kind of working towards those goals?
Yeah,
or is
but even like at the tournament, you know, make everything better at the tournament. Have more staff.
Yeah.
There's not. The LET and LPGA run a phenomenal tour with a very skeleton staff.
Yeah.
You know, I can go to Asia and there'll be 4 referees.
Right, okay.
And oh God, is it slow out here? Well, yeah, because
you're waiting an hour
the referees can't get to you.
Yeah.
Put a bit more money in that. Okay, you're not going to see it in a prize fund. And I get, if you're a sponsor, you want to be like, look at me supporting them.
You just said something actually about pace of play then, because there's quite a famous moment, was it, with Charlie, when she sort of went off to the tee box and she was sat down and she was smoking a cigarette, and it was like almost, I think everyone was like, took it as this is a real comment about pace of play in general. But actually, there's a bit of context to that. Then you could be playing at a tournament. If there aren't enough referees, then that could be a long round, because you got to wait for that now.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, the women's tour is no slower than the men's. It's just that you see it because there isn't enough cameras to jump from. Basically, it's featured group coverage.
Yeah.
So that we're only probably showing 12 people. Yeah. So we can't jump off you and just go to someone else. Yeah. And that's why it looks slower. And look, everything's slow for Charlie. She likes to play fast.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? I don't even consider. It's never entered my consciousness that, if there just isn't enough, there aren't enough camera crews and whatever. Like, you're not going to.
There's nowhere to jump because we don't have enough cameras to jump to another player.
Yeah, which all of it costs money, doesn't it? So
yeah.
So you're right. Yeah, if that money was just filtered down to that, and then the product improves, the pace improves. The sponsors come flocking, the prize fund goes up anyway.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
And amazing. I don't want the players to think that I'm trying to swindle them out of money, but they are earning good money at the minute on the LPGA. It's not like that, you know, the prize fund increase has been amazing. Amazing in the last 5 years. So thank you to all of the sponsors for that. But the infrastructure needs to be supported as well.
Yeah. Fascinating. This is absolutely fascinating stuff, this. Is there anywhere that you have been, this is probably my last point on this, but is there anywhere that you have been that you've been surprised by a club? That could be positive or negative. And that, you know, it could be like, oh my God, this is like the driving range you had where we're like, actually, our driving range is a little bit better here.
Okay.
Like, is there anywhere that you've been a bit shocked?
Look, whenever I went to a golf course, it was in the best condition it'll ever be in.
Yeah.
You know, we've got it for the week. The members must be thinking, God, I wish I was out there. We very rarely get it in poor condition. Yeah. Everyone's super duper nice to you. Like everyone's putting on a show. So no, I get treated amazingly. And also on telly now, they want to treat me better because I can speak about it, can't I? So yeah, like I've said to myself over the last few years, because I still do play golf. Even if it's just socially or whatever, I want to tick off more of what you guys are doing. Try and play more of those courses, and I still have a huge buzz. Playing a Mackenzie course, like really into that. I'm a big fan of kind of all the classic designers. I love it when I get an invite to the coast to play some golf somewhere. Now we're over here, it's obviously, the Birkdales and the Lythams and hillsides, etc. But all the way down that coast, anywhere you get to go to that is just a treat.
Yeah.
Do you get more enjoyment out of it now that you're doing it non-competitively? Or
What I try and do now is I book the day off.
Okay.
So if I'm going there,
yeah,
I try and not teach before or after,
yeah.
so I can just go and appreciate being somewhere really special. And like yesterday, you're on the 18th tee box at Hillside, and you've got like the Open Championship being set up to the left of you, and then you're thinking to yourself, well, this ain't bad, is it? Because I'm on like an amazing golf course.
Yeah.
Right now, and Hillside's going to be open when Birkdale's on. Like, how cool's that? You could just be going down the 18th and just be like looking over. Yeah. But we're very much like the last course we played, we think is the best, don't we? So I'm very aware that I played Hillside and Ganton recently. So I'm like, oh, yeah, they're really good. But you go back to places and think, yeah, like, this is so good. I'd really like to play. I keep saying this over and over. Swinley Forest. I need to go and play that one. That's the one I need to get that ticked off. And I've got Muirfield to tick off on the open rota. And then I think I'm done.
From Sky Sports, so we are playing Swinley Forest
in
June.
Are you?
We are in June.
What day?
Fancy
Maybe
that.
we'll come down. The women's amateur is at Muirfield, and I'm going to be covering that. So if anybody's listening, and North Berwick as well. So they're the two.
Yeah.
So
Well, they call it Gullen. They called Muirfield Gullen number 4, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Very lucky to. I'm going to call her a friend now. Katrina Matthew. I work with Katrina Beanie, and she lives in North Berwick. So I'm going to try and tap her up a couple of rounds. And she has said yes. So and it's on record.
Yeah.
It's officially out there now.
Yeah,
so
but
it has
I
to
think
happen.
she might be a bit like me. If it's kind of raining, we won't play.
It's you are right. That whole kind of day out element. We touched upon it with John at Wallasey in our interview, and he said, we when the visitors coming here, we want them to feel that it's their day out, their one day out of the year golfing, and that's how the experience should be, and that's why we try and cover it. Like, that's where we go. It's like, what's the clubhouse like? What's the welcome like? Yeah. What are the members been like? What's the
sausage rolls for
sandwich
me?
like?
I like.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
you club sandwich?
I'm gluten free,
sandwich,
so
yeah. I'm
Okay.
the club sandwich
Oh yeah,
fan.
I used to be a bit club sandwich, but now I'm like,
is the sausage roll? There's
the
that's
homemade
the deciding factor.
Yes,
So you do what I do. I do club sandwiches to start the round, and then a halfway hot sausage roll if that's available.
Yeah. We actually had to have. Going back to food, sorry. So yesterday we were at Hillside and it was like, we'll have a sausage roll. I thought, yeah, great. And they were like smaller than they used to be. And normally like when things get smaller, they stay the same price.
Yeah.
And one of the members was like, no, they've made them a bit smaller because they were just too big just to eat sneakily at halfway. But don't worry, they've lowered the price.
Lower the price, right? Okay.
Like, that's no
It's
good
not
to us.
shrinkflation
So
then,
me
it's
and my
fine.
mate were like, well, we'll just get.
Two each.
No, we'll
Two,
get
please.
3. We'll split it. So we had 1.5.
I love that. Yeah, good halfway hut's always a winner, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty of top 100s then. So we will give you the list shortly, but is there anything in the list that you ever look at and you've ever thought, I don't know why that's there? Or why that isn't there? There's a notable omission sort of thing. So, I mean, one big notable thing was, and that was recently, was Wallasey. They've done a lot of work, and it's now come back in. I mean, I can't imagine.
Was it not in the top 100?
It wasn't. It only
it
came back in
dropped out.
last year.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that golf course not being comfortably in the top 100.
Right.
So, is there anything that's like a bit of a surprise package, something that you're like, oh, what the hell is that not doing in the list?
Oh, I don't know.
Put you on the spot here, haven't I?
Yeah, you have really.
We're talking ready fail again, really, aren't we?
Stockport.
Not everyone
Why
spends as much
Stockport
time
not?
looking through top 100 lists as you do, then, Ish.
Stockport is, I've heard, as a very well regarded.
I suppose what I'd say about the list is there's not many new ones, is there? We
Not
haven't.
really, yeah.
If you look at other countries, we don't build many new golf courses in Britain, do we? So I would say that obviously the Trump one has come in, hasn't it?
Dunbarney went in.
Dunbarney went in.
Queenwood's relatively new, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 20 years.
Kingsbarns, but beyond that, I don't think there's many, is there, to be honest?
No, so it's quite nice that there's wherever you're going to go in this top 100, there'll be history.
Yeah.
And there'll probably have been some form of cool tournament that's played there.
Yeah.
And I love going and looking at like the past winners. You know, like if you go into Lytham and you're looking down and like who's got the course record.
Yeah, so it's amazing some of the names that you see when
like
you
at County Down when it's like course record Rory McIlroy and he was like 16.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Is there anywhere that we should look out for your name on any of these boards out there?
In the top 100, probably not in the top 100 because they've all been played by great players. I tell you what, somebody. I don't know if you are. I'm sad, but no, I'm not sad. It's number 1 on Netflix. You know the Furies at home. The Furies, they're in Morecambe, aren't they?
Yeah.
And got a course record at Morecambe. So when they do the flyover, that course, that's mine. I've got a course record.
Great. I love Morecambe.
Yeah,
it's a great course. It's my neck of the woods.
We should go.
Okay, so what I am surprised is number 19 is Royal Birkdale. Is that right? No, number 9's Royal Birkdale. Yeah, I'd probably put that a bit higher.
Well, no, it's out of the top 10.
It's out of the top 10.
Yeah, it was in the top 10, and then before we started playing, it plummeted for some reason.
Yeah, I would put Royal Birkdale inside the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real surprise, isn't it? That you know.
I suppose they've got the redesign now, which will.
That's what we
help.
wanted.
Because I think it was basically at the time that they're just assuming they've been doing the redesign for the Open, and it just dropped that year. So
yeah, maybe
whether or not it's going to come back up this year or not, I don't know.
Who knows?
I really loved the changes because I wasn't a fan of the 2nd, 3rd, 5th.
Yeah, okay.
Just little dogleg left to right, couldn't see the green. Just never felt it fitted with Royal Birkdale, and they've stripped it all out now. Yeah, they've stripped it out. You can see the green. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's gone from being like, oh, that's my worst hole on the course, to being like, oh, it's one of my favourites now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that,
so they know what they're doing, don't they?
Yeah, that's dropped it down the rankings. It's weird, isn't it? Do you, as tour pros and things, I mean, obviously you've gone now into broadcasting and playing for fun.
Yeah.
Do you take much note of rankings? I mean, this is our world, so I do. It's a bit of like.
I would say I only take rankings to if I played them now. Yeah, because we don't like. We need an English Open on the LET. Like, I'm embarrassed that we don't have an English Open.
Right. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, and we've never had a Solheim Cup in England, which is also shocking. So maybe I would take more notice if we'd have big events at these places. Obviously, the RNA are putting events there, but it would be nice to have an English. How cool would it be to have an English Open at Sunningdale?
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
I'm pretty sure you've got the power to make that happen.
Walton Heath was great when we went down there for the AIG, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Great.
And I get they've got to be more central to London to get more fans. I understand that, but I do think we'll have loads of people up at Lytham. Yeah.
Well, we're thinking of going out.
I think we're going over.
You can't see at the men's Open.
Well, no, you can't.
Yeah.
And they're all drunk, aren't they? On the Saturday? I get lots of friendly abuse when I'm walking around.
That's it. Yeah. Banter.
Yes. That's it.
Well, so we've teased it, and we'll get to this bit now because I'm actually quite looking forward to this little segment. But before that, I'll tell you about this, Chris. So I sent Sophie the list of the top 100 list essentially, and I was like, where have we played, whatever. I put everything in bold, and I had to play like spot the non-bolded golf course. You just go, oh, that's pretty depressing.
Did you count how many I've played?
I didn't know.
It must be 70 odd.
I can't count, Sophie. What's it? You played a big, significant chunk of golf courses, which is what inspired this segment, really. So we've gone with the top 10 courses that you've played, but then they're above what we've played. We've not played anything in the top 20 yet. I think 20.
A couple in the 20s, haven't we? Yeah.
20s.
None of the
we
top
played Carnoustie.
The best thing is some of these we were talking about the other day. So during the Masters, I had a little get together with some old golf friends who we played amateur golf together, and they've got their amateur status back on Never Turned Pro. One of them had won the Birkdale Scratch, so is still on the emails. And she goes, "Oh, I got an over Birkdale Scratch." So she's off +1, but as a solicitor, so works a lot.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh yeah, how much is that then?" And it was, I'm sure she said it was 85 quid. It's in June, right? 85 quid, 2 rounds at Royal Birkdale and lunch.
Nice.
And I went, that would be £1,000. She went, because she lives in 2000, when it comes to golf. And I was like, that'd be £1,000.
Yeah.
I said, just take the day off.
Do it.
enter.
doing.
You two enter. My two friends are both off like scratch +1. They'd get in. What a lovely and say, could we play together? You know, because they're not going to win. Six at the back play together. 85 quid. And that's why you're going to struggle to get on these courses, because they are, you know, punchy, aren't they now?
Yeah.
And I would be like, yeah, I got on that for that. Or you played with a member here and it was 35 quid.
Okay, you're not allowed to tell us in your little one-liners. You can't
How
say
much
how
it
much
was.
it was,
Yeah.
right? You're not allowed to do that. That's the new thing, right? Okay, so here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give you the courses, and you can give us a one-line. It can be good, bad, something true, a review, a funny moment, a memory, anything like that. Whatever you wish. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to start. You mentioned it already, Royal County down.
Oh, I put breathtaking. Not often you get the layout and the views together. I lost 7-5 in the quarterfinals of the Am there, though.
Though. I love that. All right, Royal County down. Well, I mean, we can't wait to play that, can we? Everybody says RCD, don't they?
A lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody unanimously feels like it's number one. The old course at St Andrews.
My first open, smash it left.
Just everything left.
Everything left. Even if the fairway's in front of you, hit it at the bush on the left. Just left.
I can definitely do that.
Yeah.
That's my go-to shot.
If you hit it right at St Andrews, you'll come off and think that's really hard. If you hit it left, you'll be like, quite easy.
What was everyone talking about, sort of thing? Amazing. That's a great tip. You know, this is on the. You said that on the proviso that I know exactly where my ball's going when I hit it, but there you go. It's a close your eyes job. The Ailsa course at Turnberry.
Would be number one if it wasn't for the owner. Lighthouse as a halfway is phenomenal.
Amazing. Yeah, can't ignore the owner, can you? That's why I just said Turnberry. Number 4 is Royal Dornoch.
As good as they say, it's a long way away.
Yeah.
But worth it.
Yeah. Amazing. Royal Portrush.
I'm going to take a little bit longer with this one.
Please do.
So I had a big birthday last year, and I played it on my birthday, and I thought I was just playing it with a couple of us, and it ended up being a surprise birthday where loads of my friends turned up.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we played Royal Portrush on the day of my birthday in the morning. They couldn't have been nicer to us, like sorted out clubs. I got birthday cake at the halfway house.
Oh, wow.
And then my friends that turned up that didn't play golf were all welcomed into the clubhouse. So we had great lunch, loads of drinks, just the best day.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I loved it. Yeah, really did love it.
Oh, fantastic.
That sounds like heaven.
Yeah. Who cares that Scheffler won the Open there? Who
Yeah.
cares? It's all about my birthday last year.
And sticking with the Royals, Royal St George's down in Kent.
Our England organiser, Linda Bayman, lives in the pink house at the back of the 4th green, and we used to go and stay there as kids and go and play it. It's on the edge of the earth. You get French radio there, and it was my very first Open Championship that I worked on when Colin Morikawa won, and it was COVID times, and I felt like I had the place to myself. It was brilliant. And I walked around with Colin on the second day, and I came in, sat in the green room with Bones, Ledge, and I said, I think I've just seen the best player in the world. And he said, who were you out with? I said, Colin Morikawa. And he said, he is. So that's how good Colin Morikawa was at that time. Yeah.
Wow. Or Coughlin, as we call him. We think he's Welsh.
Double L, yeah.
That's amazing, that. You get French radio.
So, I remember being as a kid, maybe you don't now, but it was that, like, I used to stay at her house and used to be on the like, messing around in the car. She'd be like, stop with the radio. And we were, like, messing around, and you'd get, like, French radio. It was bonkers.
I think I need to take a little wireless with me when we get down there. Okay, well, these back-to-backs. It's Sunningdale Old first, and then Sunningdale New.
I've got Old. My favourite test, the perfect course set up for a women's championship.
Hint, hint.
You're really...
No, it is. It's so well. It's so well set up for players that hit the ball that certain distance.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm uninitiated with this now.
Well,
please
like
explain that a bit more.
a player that hits a 7 iron in the air 150 to 160 yards. A player that's carrying the ball 250, 260 in the air. It's just...
Yeah. It's perfect for that kind of,
The bunkers are in the right positions. The layout of the par fives to start, like you got to start well, then hold on to it, and then pick it up on the way back. And it looks good. So, yeah. So what number's Sunningdale?
Sunningdale's in the top 10, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean, I'd put that in my top
there.
3. Yeah,
6 or 7, I think, isn't it?
How about Sunningdale New then?
Sunningdale New, when I used to play the foursomes there, if I could get through that, I knew I was all right. It's a big golf course.
Right.
Yeah.
Length.
Yeah. And of the time of the year, we played it in the March. I've never played it in the summer. We only played it in the March. And it's one of those courses that if it's not next to the old, it's better. They're brother and sister for me. I don't think there's one that's better than the other.
Yeah.
It's just that because they're next to each other, it probably doesn't get... I'm glad it's got more credit, actually, but got more credit in the top 100, but maybe not with the rest of world golf.
Yeah.
We have just done
shares the
Sunningdales.
halfway house with the old, so that's great.
and I was going to ask you a little bit about, so have you done the carvery lunch there at Sunningdale? Because that's quite famous, isn't it?
No, so when I used to play the foursome, I used to play with Oliver Fisher, the lad that shots 59, that one.
Yeah.
And
That's the one, you know?
yeah, he was bloody brilliant back
He was a
then.
good golfer,
He was so
wasn't he, back
good.
then? Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's still great now, Ollie. And we used to go, we'd have breakfast, and we'd go and play 18 holes. We'd have the sausage sandwiches halfway around. We'd come in, we'd have a sandwich. We'd go back out, we'd play 18 holes, whatever. We'd come in, and then we'd have to go to like Pizza Express or Wagamama. Like, this boy ate so much food. So I never really did the carvery because once you start Sunningdale foursomes, after that first day, you're 36 a day. So you don't really get the chance to sit
to do it.
eat. But we did demolish the halfway house on many occasions.
I can make time for a carvery.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that.
Also, you have to get changed like to go in.
You got to go jacket and tie.
So like, yeah. I don't look great in a jacket and tie. There you go. What does a woman wear when it's jacket and tie?
Yeah.
So I thought that was
a good question.
A really funny one. So we were at Lytham and we stayed overnight at the Dormy House. I'm going off piece. And then we come in for breakfast, and breakfast is in the clubhouse. And the guys are getting like turned away because they're not wearing the correct attire. Yeah. And I walk in, and he doesn't know what I should be wearing. Yeah. So I get away with wearing I get away wearing whatever. The other guys have got to go back and put their dress shoes on and all this. And all we're doing is driving home. So people are just just want to be in something comfy. Yeah. And I got away with it. And all the boys had to go and change. So there are some perks to being a woman. Yeah. I mean, if you looked at what Nelly Corder wore in the first round of the Chevron Championship, she looked unreal. But she's in a racerback top,
right?
Which you don't know what that is because you're looking at me like this. Like a vest goes in at the back.
Yeah, okay.
Right round your shoulder blades, no collar, white, and a skirt. Well, that wouldn't be allowed on any golf course, anywhere in regulation, normal amateur golf. So us women, we like it both ways, don't we? In the sense that we do get away with wearing different clothes than you lot do.
What do you think about all those kind of old traditions in golf? Is that something that you're in favour of? Or
I am. I am. Like, there's things will have to move along. I get that with the mobile phones, and stuff. But yeah, I think it was invaluable for us as kids. The boys having to wear a suit and tie, us having to change our clothes, stand up, give a speech. Yeah, it helped us in life. Yeah, it really did. Yeah. Mixing with older people, going. The first time I went down to the Junior Telegraph Awards, and you've got the knives and forks all laid out. Like in London, what do I do there? You had to. Yeah. It was good. It was good for me. But some of them obviously were a bit, but they are changing.
Yeah. There has to be a point in your life where you do learn that. You're not good at otherwise.
I'm still not learning this.
No, that's true.
Sorry, what are we on now?
No, it's all right. Well,
is that it?
No, we've got two more. So there's Royal Birkdale now.
Yeah.
It's a running joke through this podcast. I've actually played Birkdale twice, and Chris hasn't played it yet. So I always keep bringing that up. I mentioned, I think in the first year, I must have mentioned Birkdale in every episode. That was my first reference point. But we have to bring that in anyway because the Open is happening. But what do you think of Royal Birkdale?
It's my favourite Open venue. and maybe because it's closer to us. And whenever I used to play the Open there, I felt like the first tee box was full of my friends and family, which was great. And I like the fact that you never feel like you're sharing the golf course with anybody, and also that it's gettable. If you play badly, you're not going to score well.
Yeah.
But I've always felt with Birkdale, if I could get through what's the first par 5, 6? If I could get through the first 6, then I could make a score. Because coming in, those last 4, especially on the women's card, you can pick up some shots there.
Yeah.
But the opening tee shot, wind off the left.
It's an amazing golf course.
It is, and coming up 18 to that iconic clubhouse.
That's it. Yeah. I'm very fortunate. So we are going to play there. We have an open invitation. So my friend is a member there, and he got married in the clubhouse as well. So we've had like all the internal, like seen everything inside.
Yeah.
It's just, we always found it really friendly. I've always found it really welcoming. There's nobody like standing to ceremony or anything like that. There's never been a time when I sort of feel I shouldn't really be in this little bit, anything like. It's always been great. And that terrace overlooking the 18.
Yeah,
is just...
and these golf courses as well. You can walk down them now and be like, Jordan Spieth did it over there. Like,
Yeah.
Rose hold from there. Like, this is what's great about what
they'll
you
do that
guys
well
are
as well,
doing.
don't they?
There are plaques as well.
Yeah.
I do think more courses should have little plaques just so you can see where it was. I don't know if they don't do it so people don't hit shots from there all the time. I don't know.
A massive continual divot.
But yeah, because there was rumour, I think, that they were going to put a plaque where Spieth hit from, but they didn't want people to go to it because it's miles away. And at the time, it was on the driving range, so you might get hit.
Like, you get there and you go, oh my goodness, he was really wide.
He was wide. So somebody that was playing well, who's leading. I'm sure people playing bad have hit there, but that's what's cool about these golf courses. There is a chance to, you're not going to go to Wembley, are you?
No.
You're not going to play Wimbledon Centre Court, but you can go and play these golf courses.
That is exactly what my friend at Birkdale said. Because the first time we played with him, he was like, it's the only sport in the world you can pay your green fee and you can play in the same arena that the professionals are playing on. You can do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you won't play at Wembley, you won't play Old Trafford, you won't play
walking over that, have you done the old course yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Walking over that bridge. I mean, it's just like unbelievable.
Yeah. Makes it worth going through ballots and all sorts of things, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
Just to get that moment is,
yeah,
it's amazing. Oh, it's not lost on us, Sophie. It's not lost on us at all. And the final one is Kingsbarns. So that was one of the new ones we talked about.
I think I was just about to say it's the best new one.
Yeah.
I think it fits what that area needed at the time. There was a lot of shorter traditional links courses that were quite hard. Like the old course, when it's not windy, has that wide fairways because it shares fairways. Whereas Kingsbarns has got, I don't want to put it to an American links because that's not right. But off the tee, it's generous. So you can get off the tee and then you can enjoy from there. Whereas if you go to Lytham, I mean, there's a bunker everywhere, isn't it? Like you can struggle to get off the Carnoustie, off the tee at these open venues or good links courses, whatever. Whereas Kingsbarns, it can get you off the fairway and it can allow you to enjoy high quality links golf, but bigger and better. Like great views, massive clubhouse. It's got that feel that because it's new and you learn, don't you, what people like if you're coming for a day out. It's got that to it as well. It's a lovely par 3 on the water there.
I can't wait to play Kingsbarns.
Good views. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you one follow-up question that I haven't prepared you for,
Oh.
but it should be a dead easy one. This, the highest ranked course we've played is Carnoustie. What did you think of? I mean, it's one of the most famous golf courses in the world, Carnoustie. But what were your general impressions of the? Let's go with the quality of the golf course. I nerded out on all the stuff in the clubhouse and whatever like that. For me, is amazing, but golf course
hard, just really
Carnoustie,
hard.
Right?
Yeah. I just felt like the bunker positioning was perfect, and also you might think you've missed a bunker, but the way the fairways gather it in, you could be 20 yards left of a bunker, but if you put a little bit of fade on it, as it hits the ground, it can catch. So the bunkers aren't 10 yards wide; they're like 30 yards wide.
Yeah,
and
that's interesting. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I thought about it. I don't feel like some of the courses gobble it up as much as that one did.
Yeah.
County Down's the same. They gather into low points.
Fabulous day there, didn't we, actually? But we got the full experience. It was 40, 45 mile an hour winds. But
the difference in the weather that you get from being there to being at St Andrews on like the same day is, it can be unplayable at Carnoustie. And then it's okay, across the water.
It was, we had such a good day. Like, it was just the golf was tough. I think we'll agree the golf was tough, but it was just like, we're on Carnoustie. Like, this is just
Carnoustie, as a Scots call.
That's it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, what a fabulous place. But then, we sort of did our drabs at 18, didn't we?
Yeah, they do well there, catering. You think for what you were talking about, the experience, the hotel, it's like ace, isn't it?
Yeah,
and that's why now Turnberry's been like ripped out, and stuff. All the rooms in Turnberry are great. Turnberry's got the best breakfast. Like,
has it? Has it?
Yeah, it's
Have you been to Glen Eagles though?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I think that deserves a special mention. That breakfast.
Okay, yeah. I thought Turnberry breakfast was my favourite.
Like anything you can have for breakfast, they've got it at Glen Eagles. Like it was incredible.
What's your view like?
Oh, okay, maybe not the view.
Because the view is kind of over this.
The breakfast station?
Green, over the first tee, then out to Elsa.
Oh,
so
amazing.
Yeah, the hotel's got it
there.
This isn't the clubhouse, this is the hotel.
That wins, I think. Okay, so if there is, if you could play one more round, and this is anywhere in the world, tomorrow morning, where is it, and who are you playing with?
This is, recent months, this is why I'm saying this, it would be Cleethorpes Golf Club with my dad, because I lost him at the end of last year. So he'd moan constantly about the lack of sand in the bunkers, and it's just his bunker play was rubbish. And he would
with your dad, have terrible out of a bunker
exactly.
as well.
So we'd just go there and have a couple of pints after. Really,
that's amazing. I love that answer.
And he would like to see who he would want to play with. We'd probably have to put Justin Rose in there because that was his favourite player, and Greg Norman because he used to look a bit like Greg Norman when he was in his younger days, and he had the hat. We got him the hat, and he did wear a lot of the shark stuff. So
was he hoping to get spotted?
Greg, Rosie, and Dad at Cleethorpes.
Amazing.
Excellent.
So what is it you're working on at the minute then, Sophie? What's your
swing wise?
Left
shoulder back, right shoulder through.
We obviously know about your broadcasting and things like that, but you run a lot of clinics and things like that as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, the broadcasting is obviously you get picked for broadcasting. I'm the head analyst for the LET, so that's great. But if there's not an LET event on, I'm not working, and it's a world where someone has to choose you to do it. So there's a bit of free time, and myself and Amy Bolden, who was just moved back from Dubai, very good LET player, winner on tour. We started to do a couple of golf clinics together, and they've gone down really well. So it's something that we did one together at Ganton. Hopefully we're doing one next week.
It looked fantastic. It looked
it was. It was really interactive. People got a lot from it, talking about how tour pros think, how we negotiate short games. So it's easier to demonstrate when you're not hitting shots more than kind of 30 yards, isn't it? Yeah. And then people can start asking questions. And looking at it, I don't think enough people ever have short game lessons. Most people have an 8-iron, don't they, for their golf lesson? Or a driver. So just little snippets the techniques that we think about, what we look for in putting, the drills that we use, and then just any Q&A that they just want to kind of yell at us. What do you think about anchoring? What do all that type of thing. If the ball's plugged, how do you play it?
What do you think about
I was like, plugged? You struggle to get out when the lie's good. Like,
Yeah. What do you think about Akshays? Anchor, non-anchor?
I just don't understand why they don't just put a limit on how long the club can
I know. It seems like a very easy thing to
just make the driver. Right? Could you make the driver the longest in the bag, and then we're set 45 inches or whatever it is?
I know. Yeah, I don't see why they keep having to have the same conversation.
Maybe the head of who decides it as an anchor. I don't know. Maybe he likes.
Could
maybe
be. Probably
he's
that's what it
for...
is. Yeah, nobody's seen that.
I don't. That for me, that's the easiest one to change.
Yeah, it's an odd one. Question about your broadcasting: Has there been anybody that you've met in your travels as a broadcaster and you've just gone speechless because you've just been like, I can't believe I'm.
Can't go speechless at broadcasting.
I know, that's what I mean. But every time it's like, I'm gonna have to gather my thoughts here. I've got to get through this because this is an amazing person I'm speaking to.
I've got two probably golf world wise. So Tom Watson came into the booth at the Open Championship, and I just said I would like to go in. I just thought I'm not going to. Can you put me in with even if I don't speak to him? I'll just sit with him. It's absolutely fine. So that was really cool. And I don't know. My dad was quite a big Tom Watson fan, but I was geeking out on it. And I think at first, obviously, that they're old, aren't they? They look at you probably thinking, well, I don't know why she's it like this. And then I start asking him all the questions, and he was like, all right.
What about that one time?
Yeah. And then I had to... Annika Sorensen was... I had to... Normally when we do a walk and talk, it's about on the 5th hole or something. It's not anywhere important. It's like, well, obviously it's all important, but it's not the end of the round. It's on a par 5, whatever. I had to interview her off the first tee in Sweden at an event that she was hosting.
Wow.
Yeah, and we came to where at 1 o'clock. She teed off at 2 minutes past 1, and then I was
straight in there with the microphone.
and I'd not done it much. Like I wasn't, and I didn't have earpieces in. I didn't even know I needed them. And my camera guy said, "Can you hear the producer?" And I said, "Nope." And he went, "Right, okay, I'm just going to give you the signal then." So we worked on signals. Yeah, won't do that again.
Incredible.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
incredible.
And then who else? Like some of them great. Like if you think about the people that really enjoy golf, we've had Niall Horan, One Direction. Like he came and sat in an event in Northern Ireland, and he was in the commentary booth with us. And you can see his agents like, just 10 minutes, because he's under time limit, isn't he? It's not the agents doing their job.
Yeah.
He was in there 45 minutes.
Oh,
he's like, I love this. I do this all the time.
This is,
I watch golf constantly. So that they're all, as long as they like golf, the most nervous you get is when they're not into golf. Like you could get a CEO put in there that just sponsors the event. But most people, if they're at a golf event, even if they are a celebrity in another area, they're banging to their golf. So. Yeah.
So before we wrap up, so I'm going to tell everybody what your socials
another question.
I do have another. Okay. I do have another question. It's sort of no, it's not a question. It's something cool though. So you can find Sophie on Instagram. That's Soph Walks Golf, and you can also find her on X/Twitter, and that's Soph Walks. Now I'm going to give everyone a reason to follow you. You did a post, and I think it was a reel that you did just recently, and it was how you know what club the players are playing. So would you tell us how you know what clubs the players are playing?
No, it's a secret.
No, but you put it out there. You put it out there.
So I said this. It's amazing what I've done a couple of podcasts. Rick Shields, it blew his mind because I was mentioning it, and he went, "What happens?" Like this. So they have caddy signals. Okay.
Yeah.
So or if you're at the Open, you have somebody just stood on a par 3 and their job is to signal you. But on a general event, it's the caddy signal. So you'll go up to the caddies at the beginning of the round. Hi, John, Tom, Sue, I'm Sophie. To let any help out there, really appreciate it. If you forget, it doesn't matter because they're only helping you out. They're doing you a favour and it's signals. So you have, well, you're all looking. Okay, so it'd be like top of the bag, bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
So 9 iron, 8 iron, 7 iron, 6 iron.
Okay.
Wedge, gap wedge, and then top of the bag that way.
Okay.
Yeah, so 5 iron. So do you remember that one at Augusta where Brooks Koepka nearly got done for it because the caddy went like that, 5?
Right.
Don't you remember
No,
that?
I don't remember
it was
that.
on the par 5, and Ricky went like this, and they said, was Ricky signalling to another caddy that it was a 5? And Ricky said, no, I was signalling to the TV people that it was a 5.
Right.
But most of the time they do it at the side of their, they'll do it at their side.
It.
So I say to the caddy, don't look for me. Don't look and go.
Yeah. Just
like
do
because
it.
that can be 7-iron as well. Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
obviously it could be high 3. Like, you can do it that way or that way. But obviously they haven't got 3 irons and they haven't got 2 irons, so it's quite easy with that. Don't go.
Yeah.
Because that might distract people or whatever. Just put it at the side like that, and then I will have my Bushnell. I'll be close enough to you to see it.
And would that change? So if you're in sort of like running down the last stretch and you're in sort of match play kind of situation, would Kelly still?
Well, there's a
continue
famous
to do
one.
that?
There's a famous one. 17th hole, Solheim Cup, Finca Courtesane. Carlotta Zagander against Nelly Corder, par 3. It's just under 160 yards or whatever. And her caddy signals the wrong number on purpose because he knows Jason's looking.
Yeah.
And she hit 7-iron and he signalled, I don't know what he signalled, 8 or and she stiffs it and Nelly pulls it and misses a green. And the little Spanish lad, Alvaro, he said afterwards to Suzanne, the captain, I'm not going to do his accent, but he lied. I lied. I got this. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
yeah.
Honestly, I saw that post and I was like, I need to ask Sophie about this.
But there's
It's
other
so
ways
good.
that you know. So I would always write down the colour of the shafts.
Okay.
Gino Titican, I did myself over here. Gino Titican has different colour grips.
Right. Okay.
And I knew them all. And then I mentioned it to somebody and they put it out on our coverage. And the next thing you know, our producer was like, that's amazing. So what, a 7-iron's blue, an 8-iron's purple, whatever it was. And they did a big thing on it. But Gino's dead easy because she just has different colours.
Right,
So
okay.
I don't need a caddy signal from Bangkok. I'm just like, oh, yellow, 9-iron, done. Obviously, when she changes her grips, it's annoying. But she does that because her dad, when he's watching on television or when he was watching as an amateur, he wanted to know what club she was hitting. So that was her signal to him, the colour of the grip.
Wow.
Told you it was a good question.
Never even thought about that as being an
Told
issue.
you.
But
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even thought about how broadcasters know what club.
You do sometimes guess.
Yeah.
You do have an educated guess sometimes,
Yeah.
I know.
Because you ask for their numbers at the beginning of the round.
Yeah, the allergies.
But you will find that the more experienced caddies, they'll never fail, really, unless they're coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
And they're really in, in
and
the
that's
zone.
fine.
That's obviously
They're only doing it to help the broadcast out. And if you look when the caddies walk off the back of the green, where they position their golf bags, right in front of the camera, so they'll see the tight lists getting laid down.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a reason to follow Sophie on Instagram, just for stuff like
Nuggets.
that, for absolute nuggets like that. Sophie, thank you so much. Oh, one more. No,
one more.
It's my favourite phrase.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much for joining us today. That was
I'll see you at Swinley Forest in June then,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah. We gotta make it worth our while now. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sophie. I hope you enjoyed that. But we had a great time. I certainly had a great time asking you my one more question every time.